So, hi everyone. My name is Michael Cossard. I'm a solution consultant at FinalCAD, and I will just now start the presentation. So, first of all, I would like to thank you for joining us. For this webinar. In the next 30 or 35 minutes, we propose to discuss how you can improve the profitability of your projects through digital transformation, with a particular focus on the execution phase of the construction work. But before we get fully into the subject of today's presentation, let me just spend 2 or 3 minutes, no more, I promise, on FinalCAD. FinalCAD is a company that was created more than 10 years ago now, and has made its mission to help companies to build their best by enabling them to deliver safe, profitable, and responsible projects. We are proud to say that FinalCAD is ranked in a list of the French tech company with the highest potential for growth and international development, and to be the only company in the construction tech area ranked in this specific selection. So over the past 10 years, our solutions have been used by more than 200,000 users on more than 24,000 sites around the world. So in France and Europe, of course, but more generally in 35 countries, and particularly in Asia, like in Singapore and Japan. Among the customers who have trusted us for all those years, you will recognize some of the big names in the construction industry, of course, in the fields of building, rail, road, infrastructure, or energy, among others, but also other big names in industry. For example, because FinalCAD is, of course, aimed at serving construction professionals, but also all companies that need to maintain a real estate or production asset, and more generally, companies that need to manage teams and interventions on the field. In order to help our clients with their construction or maintenance projects, and more generally to support their digital transformation process, we have developed FinalCAD One. This is a platform available both on the web and mobile devices to help works in groups, with a real focus made on team collaboration capabilities, to manage field activities more efficiently, and finally, to deal with the unexpected. That is to say, anything that may happen in the field that has not been planned, that may cause delays, and that can, in the end, have a significant negative impact on the profitability of a project. Profitability of your projects. This is precisely the subject that interests us today, and one of the main reasons why our customers use our solutions. But before seeing FinalCAD One with some pragmatic examples of how a digital solution can help improve this profitability, we wanted to share 2 statistics with you on this subject. And here is the first one. So in an international survey we made last year, and for which 400 construction professionals were interviewed, the average profit margin declared by the respondents was 2%. This is not a French specificity, but really a worldwide trend, because this number fluctuated only by more or less 0.2%, depending on the countries in which the respondents works. So it was done in France, it was done in Spain, it was done in Singapore and in Japan. And the average number was always approaching this 2%. So I'm quite sure that there is no surprise for you, I think. But this figure, which is quite low, let's say it, explains the importance of being able to control the various factors that may influence it in a negative way. Among these factors to be controlled, you have, of course, cost and deadlines. And we will come back to this in more detail in a few minutes. The second statistic we wanted to share with you today was 72%. And this is a proportion of construction professionals interviewed in our survey who believe that margin improvement is one of the advantages of using a digital solution on their construction project. It is therefore the return of a large majority of construction professionals who, for the most part, had already used one or more digital solutions on their projects in recent years. But of course, the effects on the project margin of using collaborative solution, a resource management solution, a BIM solution, or a solution to manage the handover defects list are different because they don't leverage the same profitability sources. So for the 30 minutes that we have left together today, of course, we don't intend to address all possible aspects, So we have chosen to focus on two possible levers to illustrate the potential offered by digital solutions, such as the one we propose to improve the profitability of your project. Okay, so let's start with this simple formula. Improving the profitability after the design phase, once you start the construction work, can be achieved by two main leverage. First one is to achieved by spending less on one hand, and on the other hand, it's delivering faster. So spend less, okay, but how? And digital solutions can help you control the use of your resources and limit your spending on construction sites. As a first approach, you can start by avoiding as far as possible any drift in spending, and by using digital solutions a little further, you will be able to set up processes to save resources and reduce some spend categories. On the second part, deliver faster. So by helping your teams to be more efficient on a daily basis, and by allowing them to react more quickly to unexpected events and problems, the use of a digital solution will help to better keep to schedules, avoiding as far as possible the delivery delays that lead to additional costs, or even financial penalties, which directly reduces the profitability of projects. But before I move on to the next slide, let's take a look at the polling question. So can you send the poll, please? Okay, perfect. So polling question is this one. So what is the main profitability source you can improve according to you on your construction site? Management costs, material costs, efficiency on scheduled tasks, or efficiency to manage unexpected? So we'll let you like a few seconds to answer to the poll, and we'll see the results. If you want to answer, you just have to select the answers that you want to choose. Okay, so the poll is now closed. And what are the results? So according to you, 38% about the main profitability source that you can improve, that you can optimize on your construction sites, are the efficiency on scheduled tasks. This is the main topics according to you and the main items that you can improve. The second item, it's related to management costs with 26% of the respondents. The third items is efficiency to manage unexpected for 20%. And finally, this is material cost for only 16% of you, who considers that material costs can be improved. So this is interesting, like this result, because we can see, like, even if of course the efficiency on scheduled task is the main topic, this is quite similar. All the results, like we have almost like 25% for each topic, except like between the material cost, where there is like maybe like more fixed costs about the material by itself, and they are compensed by the efficiency on scheduled task. And this is good, in fact, to have like this kind of all these items with the same weight and the same importance to improve on the construction site. Because in fact, today, I will present to you during a 10 minutes demo how FinalCAD will answer the 4 possibilities. So we really choose like these 4 solutions, and the fact that you vote almost approximately for the same one of these topics show how important all these topics are related one to the others. And we choose like these 4 solutions because they are inspired by real use cases that we have seen with our own customers. So we will share with you 2 use cases on each of the 2 levers, one on the spend less levers. You will see how the collaboration capabilities offered by FinalCAD 1 will allow you to reduce the management cost, meaning the time and cost associated with tasks related to project management, decision making, or reporting, for example. But you will also see how you will be able to reduce the cost of materials, not regarding the supplier cost, like the true cost that you will have to pay for the material, because of course this is fixed and you can't change it because this is a market who define it, but how you will be able to reduce the unused material at the end of the construction site, or all the consumption, the extra consumption that you will have to do for material. On the other side, dealing with the deliver faster lever now, the first use case you will see during the demo will be how to be more efficient to deliver faster what's planned in the schedule. So in other words, how to avoid delays on planned tasks. And the second use case, the last one we will see, will be how to be quicker to manage the unexpected, meaning how to better report from the field in case a problem or an unexpected event occurs, in order to make quick decisions with the right people and minimize the impact on the planning. So let's switch on the demo now. Check. Okay. Okay. Before starting the demo, let's first situate the use cases on the life cycle of a construction project of a residential building. So first, I will start during the structural works phase, when the main con has to follow up all scheduled tasks, and then we will see how to better collaborate during the end of a phase, including for defect management with your customer. Finally, we will see how to reuse or recycle materials at the end of your construction project. On a construction project, structural works are often realized internally by the main con. A list of tasks that must be done have been planned from the master schedule. And to realize this task, field workers need to follow up a quality protocol defined by the design office. So Yann Baudouin, site engineer of the main con, logs to FinalCAD 1 application from his office computer. A FinalCAD 1 project was previously created and parameterized by the design office, which added a number of blueprints and of quality controls to be monitored. For example, let's look at the checks that have been planned for structural works. In the form menu, Yann can access all concrete elements that must be built or assembled on site. For instance, walls and pylons to be checked during the next 4 weeks. Okay, are assigned to Kevin Massin team. So now he wants to check that his team on site will get access to the right drawings to monitor the execution of these walls. The design office previously created the projects adding a certain number of blueprints, such as technical drawings, for instance. Can you see the video? Sorry. Yep. Okay, can you just confirm like you can see the video? Check. Okay, I will just share. Sorry, I'll just share again. I took. Okay. Now can you confirm that you see the video, please? Okay, great. Yes, sorry for the technical issue. So let's start again from the beginning. Okay, so just before like starting the demo again, so I will, in order to explain you what we will see today, so I will start explaining you during the structural works when the main con has to follow up all scheduled tasks. Then we'll just going a little further and see how to manage an expected task during MEP works with subcon. And just after that, we'll see how to better collaborate during the end of a phase, including for defect management with your customer. Finally, we will see how to reuse or recycle materials at the end of your construction project. So let's start first with the structural works phase. On a construction project, structural works are often realized internally by the main con. A list of tasks that must be done have been planned from the master schedule. And this is what we will see right now, going into the forms items. In the forms menu, Yann Baudouin, which is the site engineer of the main con, can access to all concrete elements that must be built or assembled on site. For example, walls and pylons to be checked during the next 4 weeks. This is what we will do and control right now. Okay, we can see that all these controls are assigned to Kevin Massin team, which is a structural works site manager. So now he wants to check that his team on site will get access to the right drawings to monitor the execution of these works. Design office previously created the project, adding a certain number of blueprints. However, I would like to add a formwork blueprint he just received. So he can really simply just drag and drop it from an EDM, for example, to make it accessible to his teams, and thus ensure that the control can be correctly positioned and documented on site. So we'll just have access from his computer directly to the EDM or to his own internal network, upload it on the platform, and there it is. The new blueprint is now available and all his team have access to this new blueprint. This time, let's connect to the smartphone of the site supervisor. Kevin Massin is working on the field. In the form menu, he can access to all scheduled tasks that have been assigned to him and his team and that he must perform. Here we can find again all structural elements that must be built. Kevin can just filter on the task of the day he needs to complete. So we'll just filter on the due date for today. There it is. Then, tapping on it, he has access to all the information he needs to work. First of all, the location of the wall he needs to make. You can verify the location on it, on the building, and any additional information attached to it. Here we can see all identified walls on the blueprint and the location of the wall P01B. Site engineer Yann attached previously a PDF file directly to the forms discussion thread. Kevin has access to all the technical details for the execution of the task assigned to him. By opening the form, Kevin will have access to the quality control, to the quality protocol, which has been defined by the design office. And he can thus complete a checklist which serves as a reminder and thus prevents any omissions in the quality protocol. This quality control form is an asset for field workers who get access to the process of the company based on the experience of previous projects. So here, for example, a problem has been detected, and Kevin can simply switch to the form to non-compliant to alert the site engineer of an incident. So we come to the second use case now. During the execution of works, a number of incidents or defects has been identified. So it is a matter of resolving this unforeseen task as quickly as possible. From this task, the site supervisor will be able to create an observation directly from the task to describe the defect he has noticed. Here, a hole in the wall must be made. This observation details precisely the corrective action which is expected thanks to the attachment of several information. For instance, a photo record, as we've seen, a business categorization, a deadline, and so on. So here, the observation is categorized as a structural work issue and is assigned to Carole Pernet to alert her with a notification directly. Also, we will locate it on the blueprint. And we will locate it exactly on the same place than the forms control. And now the non-conformity is linked with the quality and the task control first. Let's connect now with Carole Pernet, who represents an electricity company, which is a subcon of the main con. From her mobile, she can really quickly get the observations that have been assigned to her. And in particular here, the hole, which must be done to allow the installation of an electric network. In a discussion group with the general contractor, Carole wishes to alert the site engineer, Yann Baudouin, that she's blocked and she can't install the cable pass through the wall. She can quickly explain the situation in a message, and she can link the observation in this discussion thread. As you can see, you are really free to easily discuss with all team members and share various types of information. FinalCAD One would centralize all chats or discussions from various applications in one single place. Carole can be sure Yann will receive this message on his professional smartphone. She doesn't need to use his phone number anymore. Okay. So she just describes the situation and declare what she will do. So you won't have to use like your WhatsApp and to jump from a professional apps to WhatsApp apps and so on in order to jungle and to jump from defect tools and to communication. And now, sometime later, on the contrary, she wishes to inform that the opening has been correctly created into the wall and that she has been able to install the cable tray. So this is what she will do right now. Okay, and so there it is. And now what she will be able to do, now that the task is now completed and the defect is closed, she will be able to take a new picture, okay, of the installation done. And she will be able to switch the status to closed because this non-conformity is not over, is now over. And what she will do as well will be to notify Yann Baudouin, the site manager again, to inform of the progress of her work. So FinalCAD One really improved collaboration between your teams. Now let's tackle this third point in more detail, especially during the handover phase where all site stakeholders are involved in the project at the same time. We are now connected with Julia Tessier, the representative of the project customer, and she leads site inspections. During one of her visits, she wishes to access the history of the site and review previous weekly meetings. Through the group, she can access all the comments and findings that have been made. FinalCAD One is really the memory of your site. For instance, here, Yann Baudouin shared the meeting minutes of previously weekly meetings and all defects that were mentioned during site inspections. Julia can go back to the attached documents and read them from the site to make sure that all remarks have been taken into account. She can also get access and follow up autonomously the punch list during the inspection without the presence of Jan or anyone else. So we'll just have to enter inside the defect and to update the status in order to inform that all these defects are now closed. Back at the office, Julia can also access the punch list directly from her computer to instantly edit defect monitoring reports. She wants to ensure that deadlines and the level of quality will be respected at the end of the project. In the observation menu, she can monitor the delivery of works at any time and track the progress of each open issue. She can also change the status of defects regarding feedback she received from the site. And she's able to export all data captured from site to get access to a statistical overview of snags. This export is really ready to be shared during weekly meetings with project team members or with our company to report the activity of the project. Check. Okay, so this is a report. And of course, we show right now the Excel file of the reports, and we also have PDF forms of those reports with all the pictures and all the details of the defects that you have to do. So let's now take a look at the last part to finish the demo about how FinalCAD can help you to save material resources. How can we facilitate recycling and reuse of surpluses at the end of the work? Yann Baudouin has created a group inside this project named Carousel of Materials, where everyone can share the materials they have in excess. So this allows, for example, Kevin, the foreman, to resell his scrap metal. So to improve the process, Yann has even created a form that anyone can complete to fill in and categorize the materials on site. So this is what we will do right now. With this form, you can really give the characteristics of the material you want to resell. Its origin, its original price, its availability. So let's take an example here, water container, which is referenced. Kevin can complete the form indicating the size of the tank and so on. The ultimate goal is really to create a catalog of materials available at the end of the project or even before, and thus make it possible to reuse or resell these stocks from a construction site to another. So we just have to fill all the info about the elements that we want to give or to sell on site, detailing where it is, what is the type of packaging, and so on. The point is really to share the info and to be sure that there is the less lost for all materials non-used on site. And there it is. You will be able to generate, for example, this type of reports with all the info about what is currently available to sell. Okay, so I have finished this demo, and I hope that these few use cases have helped you to perceive the potential that lies in the adoption of a digital solution to support your construction project. But again, these are just quick example driving a true digital transformation, not only for the execution part of the project, but also for the steps before construction starts and after the project is delivered. There are so many more possibilities for you to spend less on your operations while working faster and more efficiently. So I will now come back to the slides. Okay, perfect. Check. Okay, sorry. Check. I'll just come back to the slide and there it is. Okay, so now the question is, what is the return on investment of this type of solution? So when you choose a solution, it is important that the cost of acquisition, usage, deployment, and training of the chosen solutions must not spoil the expected benefits. So in a word, is it worth it? This is what we will see now. To help you to answer to this question, we wanted to share the return on investment for two of our customers. Firstly, that of a customer who builds and maintains its own stores, let's say, and secondly, that of a company managing the construction projects of residential and office buildings. The figures you are about to see are the consolidation of the answers to the interviews conducted by our teams with people who have used our solution for several months in the field. Both operational staff and their managers, so that we are able to estimate the gains on very field-oriented aspects, but also on aspects related to project management. In order to make these interviews, we used a questionnaire composed of approximately 100 questions, organized in different categories that you can see on the right of your screen. Each question makes it possible for the respondents to quantify a real source of savings calculated after several months using the solution, or to evaluate other sources of gains that are less easily measurable. The figures and the conclusions of the feedback you are about to see have all been validated by the customer's management teams. This first return is from an international oil company that has used FinalCAD application for several months for the construction of a certain number of gas stations. On the right, you can see some of the gains identified by our customer on the left of your screen, sorry. There are many others that came out of the analysis, and we have chosen only the most striking figures. To begin with, a time saving of 2 hours on each site visit, with a frequency of 1 visit every 2 weeks. There is a number of reasons for this, in fact. So all the information is available directly in the mobile app. No need to use paper drawings and blueprints during the visit. Possibility to report defects and non-conformities live during the visit. Generation of reports automatically at the end of the visit. 30 minutes were saved per week for each project manager, meaning approximately 3 days over a year, on administrative tasks. What is taken into account here is, for example, less printing of documents, fewer phone calls, less information extracted manually and sent by email to the various stakeholders involved, and so on. 8 hours per month saved on data analysis by the project manager, sorry. As the tool allows you to structure the data collected from the field and to make automatic consolidations and reports, a lot of time is saved on data reentry, on checking the consistency of this data and on building reports based on this data. But it's also a good way to avoid errors due to manual data processing. In the end, it's more than a day saved each month for each project manager. Finally, the fact of working on a common tool with Subcon will allow better communication and collaboration. Information sharing will take place via a single channel, so that limits emails, phone calls, text, WhatsApp messages, and the loss of information that goes with it. In the end, better collaboration with the Subcon will enable everyone to be more efficient. An efficiency gain that has been evaluated at 0.5% of the total construction cost for each of our clients' projects, which is a really significant amount on some projects. Putting it all together, our customer estimates its total investment in the solution, meaning the cost of usage, deployment, and training, paid back in 1.8 months. And with much more conservative assumption, you still get a return on investment in just over 4 months. So imagine using this kind of solution, starting the beginning of a project, meaning like for a project of approximately like 12, 18, 24 months, in just like 2 months, you already get your payback about what you paid at the beginning. Let's share with you like the second example now, and after we'll jump to the question part. The return on the investment of our second customer who used our solution for several months on different building sites. Is even more significant, in fact, since he estimated that he would be reimbursed for his investment in 0.7 months. In other words, only in 3 weeks. By taking more conservative assumption from the calculation, return on investment remains reached in less than 2 months for the customer. The main sources of gains identified remain the same as for our first customer. So I just let you discover the exact figures on the left. But to summarize, users save a lot of time on site visits and on administrative tasks, spend much less time on checking the reliability of the data reporting by the sites, and significant gains in terms of time and productivity are made thanks to improved collaborative work with Subcon. What we want to highlight, in fact, with these 2 examples is not only that not only can the adoption of digital solution improve the profitability of your construction project, but that this improvement is generally fast and perfectly measurable. Gains are recognized at our customer site from the very first projects on which the solution is used. And the financial investment, as well as the efforts made to adopt a new technology, the famous learning curve, which can slow down certain activities during the first day of use, are really quickly compensated in just a few weeks. So there you go. We are coming to the end of this presentation now. So I really hope that it's been informative. And I see that there are quite a few questions that came in through the chat. So I suggest we answer quickly to just 2 of them so that you can be free on time. Okay, great.
Right. Okay, thank you. So looks like the demo has attracted some very interesting questions. And first and foremost, how long does it take to get started and deploy the solution presented in the demo?
Yeah, thank you. Really interesting demo, really interesting question. Sorry, indeed. And it just jump and make echo with the last part that I say. Like really quickly, you will be able to have like return on investment. So we just released the solution I presented to you during the demo a few months ago now, at the beginning of the year. And we have really reworked its ergonomic aspect in depth so that it can be easily handled by the greatest number of people. So for example, the screens have been really simplified as much as possible, and the number of clicks required to perform each action has been reduced as much as possible. We really took inspiration from the most ergonomics of the most well-known and popular consumer applications so that our user can, for example, find the ease they have in their private lives to create a group and start a discussion really easily from scratch on WhatsApp from the field and in an application designed for professional use. So there is, we can say like no training effort, and the solution can really be used directly after downloading it. And if ever there is a need for training for large-scale deployments, for example, we have dedicated a team that can organize customized training sessions on site or remotely.
Okay, thank you. I'll take the next questions. Is it possible to test the solution presented in the demo?
Yeah, of course. Good question. You can, of course, test everything you just saw in the demo. So you can even do so right after this presentation, in fact. So since we offer a free version of our solutions, you just have to go on the App Store or on our website, FinalCAD. And all you have to do, it's download the app, the mobile app, connect to the web app from our website, finalcad.com. Once again, we wanted the solution to be easily accessible to as many people as possible. So don't hesitate to download it from the store, FinalCAD 1, or from connecting to the web application from finalcad.com. Start using it with your colleagues on your project for free. And I'm sure you will quickly find many more use cases than the one presented to you today that will have a positive effect on the profitability of your operations. And of course, if during your usage, your free usage, you have any question, feel free to reach us by just sending us an email or connecting through the chat of our website.
Right. Okay, we will proceed with these questions. I think it's quite related. We need to upload. Do we need to upload all drawings in the program, or do we have own drawing method on this program? And once we take pictures, do we upload to the program too?
Yeah, so two questions inside this question. First part regarding the drawings. We don't present it to you today during this presentation, but we really design and build our application to be like API centric. Meaning like the point of the FinalCAD One platform is really to connect the platform with all your internal software of your company. So it can be an EDM, for example, in order to automatically push the drawings from the EDM to FinalCAD One. The point is really to help you to gain time, in fact, during this phase. Another possibility to gain time and to avoid you to redo the work between the design part and the construction part is like we build, in fact, an AutoCAD plugin in order for your design office team to, from AutoCAD, push the drawings automatically to your project. So it will work at the beginning of the project, but it will also work for drawing updates. The point is really to help you to gain time and to don't have to do twice the work between the design office and to FinalCAD. For the second part, regarding like the taking pictures, our solution are working online and offline because we know like you don't necessarily always have network on your construction sites. So as long as you are connected to a network, yeah, it will automatically upload the pictures that you take inside the application. This is a cloud application. But if you are not connected to a network, it will just record it on your mobile first. And when you will connect to a network, it will automatically synchronize with the servers and register it inside the application.
Okay, in the interest of time, we'll take final two questions. So is FinalCAD practical for interior job? Would it be more useful for contractor or consultants?
Yes. So the point of FinalCAD and how we develop it, it's to be the most flexible possible. So what does it mean? It's like the two main words is first one is really autonomy. So you will be completely autonomous, in fact, in order to discover and to organize yourself during the job and creating everything you want inside. So it can be related to the setup of the application, to the upload of the drawings. It will be the same for the forms creation, the process creation and templates. We really shape and develop our application in order to give you the full autonomy and the largest level of settings on your side. So it will be like useful for main con, for subcon, for consultants, for all companies who have to build or to maintain or to operate in retail, in buildings, or in infrastructure projects, thanks to the high level of autonomy and setting possible. The point is really to digitize, to give access to your own process from your mobile with all the strengths of all the communication tools that are used today on the construction sites.
Okay, so here is our final questions for today. So typically, how long does the change management take? And what are the key obstacles to change management for employees on site to readily use such applications?
Yeah, this is a good question indeed, and this is something that is sometimes forget, and we can think like when we choose an application, things will do it like really easily without any efforts. In fact, like change management occurs depend on the own personal learning curve of your own staff on site. What we wanted to do in FinalCAD was really to keep, and I think like you saw it like during the demo, but we worked with the design team who built Slack, for example, and like all this large and really open community application in order to really looks like personal applications that you can use, such as WhatsApp or such as any communication tool. So regarding the personal learning curve of anyone, I would say like we have proof and we have return on experience about like a shortened time to handle our application compared to some of our competitors. Again, in order to reduce this learning process, we really worked a lot about like reduce the number of clicks that is request to do an action. As you've seen on the demo, and really feel free to use and to download the apps to try yourself, but you can just record a defect in 2 tabs, just 1 tab creating a defect, 2 tabs taking pictures, and so on. After you will be able, of course, to add information and so on. But we really focus on it in order to be sure that the learning curve and will be the shortest possible in order for you to have the biggest return and the shortest return on investment. After regarding change management, it depends how deep you want to insert and what types of, for what type of process you want to use FinalCAD. Only for defect management, like the change management could be really quick. After, if you want to use it for other process such as like permit to works, for example, or process involving like different stakeholders, of course, you can have like a weeks of trainings in order to be sure that everyone know what they have to do at what time. But it will depend, in fact, of all personal experience with this type of applications and all personal capabilities for the learning curve.
Well, all right. Then appreciate your time, Michael, and thank you everyone for participating in the Q&A. So we have come to the end of our webinar. We will reach out to you separately for those questions that we are unable to answer today. And we hope you have enjoyed these sessions brought to you by FinalCAD.